Hi, and welcome to the Knitting Game and Other Stuff. Come on in.
Scissors and string. Soon it will be spring.
Hi, and welcome to episode 91 of the Knitting Game and Other Stuff. I'm your host, Lesley, otherwise known as Pixie Knits, and it has been a few weeks since I last recorded. So for those of you who are new to the show, thank you for checking me out, and those of you who are followers and previous viewers, thank you for sticking with me and waiting for me to make my return, because it's been a little while. So, I guess let's get into it, shall we? We've got a month of catching up to do. So I want to say hello and welcome to our February newcomers. So we have Orange Maid, and that's Helen. LT Green, that's Lori. She's local to me. Hi, Lori. Crow Knitting, that's Carrie Lynn. MLA Love 1718, and that's Amy. And then we have Perdia. So welcome everybody to the group. I hope you enjoyed the show. Now we have some birthdays. We've got March birthdays. So we've got Keith Knits, that's Catherine. They are the yarn goes on, Lisa Marie. Jet Girl 1313, that's Katie. Knitting Mummy of 6, Amanda. Lunau is Joanne. Melissa Knits, Melissa. Yay Paxed 4, that's Yvette. Knit Fun for Me, that's Carol. And 19 Vesper Street, Erin. Alright, so happy birthday, guys. There's a few belated ones in there because it's the 8th or the 9th of March. It's Sunday after the chime change, so the fact that I'm like alive and in person right now is pretty incredible. So I don't know what day it is. Alright, so shout outs, announcements, general chit chat. First of all, I want to say I had, regardless of the fact that I was deathly ill, it seems like, I had a great time at the retreat down in Virginia Beach, the Virginia Beach Yarn Getaway. That was a few weeks ago there at the end of February, and it was hosted by the lovely Knit Crit. So I really want to say thank you for your time and effort in putting together a wonderful event. Looking forward to next year, so I can't wait for that. And yeah, I was sick. That's where I've been the last few weeks. Some folks have noticed that I kind of went AWOL there for a while on just about everything. I wasn't posting anything, commenting or anything, liking anything. I was coming home from work, going upstairs, and passing out. My husband and I both, for a week, did that. Last week was better. And now I'm mostly finished with it. I may cough here occasionally. My husband, I think he's finally coming out of it. There was a period there where he had a fever every night for a week. And then there was a lot of coughing, a lot of congestion. And it was just generally like I would move and I would have to sit down. So I would take a shower and then I'd have to lay down. Then I'd get dressed and I'd have to lay down. I mean, it was really rough. So I had like no energy to do anything. I ran a fever for most of the retreat, if not the whole thing. I started getting sick the Thursday before. By that Saturday when we did our trip to the yarn store, yeah, it was pretty bad. I shouldn't have gone, in all reality. I probably should have stayed home, but I don't ever get sick. So I mean, once every 10 years maybe I get sick. So I didn't think I was going to be as out of it as I was. I thought I would bounce back real quick. You know, I have the sniffles every once in a while. You know, you get a sore throat a couple times a year, just, you know, irritation or whatever. So I thought it was just something mild that would go away, and I was so wrong. This was one of those once in a decade type illnesses, sicknesses. So I was down for the count. So I didn't get to enjoy the folks there at the retreat and getting to know everybody like I would have loved to, because I didn't want to get everybody sick. I tried to not get people sick, and even though I tried, I ended up getting one person sick, and I felt so bad because she was getting ready to go on a trip to England, and I was like, oh, that's horrible. I should have just stayed home. But I did go, and I had a great time as much as possible. So that's why I've been kind of out of the loop, and I didn't record. I did record some footage from our balcony and from the yarn store. So why don't we take a look at that right now, and you guys can see kind of what it was like on the beach in February.
Hi guys, welcome. I remember what you said. I did that last time.
You can use any ruler. Huh? You can use any ruler. Any tape measure.
No, you told me to use the counting gas because I had such a horrible time counting the whole store.
Oh.
If you put on the stitch mark at the point, I'm sure they were.
That's one of those.
So that was pretty cool. The yarn store, it was pretty neat. And I can't remember if my husband said anything during that little episode there, the filming from the balcony. So if he said anything, I'm sorry. So, because he went with me. I had a suite to myself, so I figure why not, you know, ask him to come along, and, you know, he can take advantage of, you know, just relaxing without the kids for, you know, once. Not that they're older. They stay in the basement or up in their room. But, yeah, so he went with me. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. A little peek. So if you're interested in next year's retreat, it's kind of a novel idea to have a knitting retreat at the beach, and then at the beach in February. So it's like nothing's open. There was like one Italian restaurant across the street from the hotel. Pretty much everything on the main drag there on the beach is closed for the season. So there was no Subways, there was no McDonald's, there was none of that. You had to drive in a little bit inland to get to places. So if you're interested in next year's retreat, go ahead. I've linked to the group, and we'll use the same group for next year. So it was a really nice couple of days. So next year I'll plan on being there the whole time, and I should have the time to be able to do that. Alright, so let's get into the knitting game, shall we? So like I said, I haven't really recorded in a month, and that's a long time to go for people to vote and not have a winner announced. So since we're doing the American Idol style type voting this time around, I decided for every week that I didn't record, that would be one sweater that got cut from the running. So I've been out for 4 weeks, so that means 4 sweaters we have to say goodbye to today. So without further ado, the sweaters that have been eliminated from the 10 future sweaters knitting game, we have the Geodesic Cardigan by Connie Chang Chinchio, the Vercheres Pullover by Heather Zapetti, the Shapely Boyfriend by Stephanie Jappel, and the Sierra by Laura Ayler. Now, there was the Sierra by Laura Ayler and the Ditto by the Barocco design team were right there on the cusp. They both had the same amount of votes. So I decided to go ahead and keep the Ditto and scrap the Sierra for right now, because I have another pattern by Laura Ayler in the mix, the Park Slope. So I thought, all things considered, you know, I still have a Laura Ayler pattern in the running. So I'll keep the Ditto and drop the second Laura Ayler pattern. So which patterns are still in the running, you may say? Well, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I put a new custom ROM on my tablet, and that's not what I wanted to do. So, alright. I want my tablet to do things now. Alright, so let's see. The Ditto. These are the patterns that are still in contention, in the running, for consideration. So we have the Ditto. It's a cardigan. As you can see, there's some detail up around in the yoke area. So that's a little different. A little kind of rib type deal. It's almost like a starburst rib. This one, I don't have which yarns. I don't know. Figures, I don't have which yarns goes with which sweater. But it is cotton blend. I know this is going to be a cotton blend. I think this is the Knit Picks Comfy, is the yarn that goes with this sweater. Alright, so the next sweater in contention, still in the running, is the Harvest. This one's a long sleeve sweater by Tin Can Knits. There is no buttons, but you can keep it closed with a shawl stick or pin. So that's the Harvest. Nice little open cardigan. Then the Park Slope. This one is by Laura Ayler. And what the last time I showed the scoop neck version, well, here's what the V-neck version looks like. So with a Park Slope, you get both a scoop neck option or a V-neck option, whichever one you prefer. I will knit the V-neck version because I like that one the best. Alright, the next sweater up for bid, if you will, is the Bridget jacket by Courtney Kelly. This one, though, I would make longer, just a little bit longer, to come and hit further down, like where her hands are on her hips. Then the next sweater up for contention, and I love this one. This one, oh, so pretty, is the Celine Pullover by Leanne Nigo. So that's a nice, another V-neck. I really enjoy the V-neck. This one has more of a lace pattern to it, so you've got some long ribbing on the cuff and along the bottom, and then the V-neck. It looks like it's an interesting construction with the V-neck and how it comes together. So that's different. So that looks like it'll be fun. And the final pattern, still up in the running, is the Andante by Marjorie Dessau. And this one, again, is a cardigan. It is not a pullover, as you can see. And this one is an open front one. There's no buttons on this one. And there's a really interesting detail that falls right at the hips, kind of at the lower waist. There's some ribbing there that gives it a little bit of shape rather than doing decreases. So it pulls it in and gives it a little bit of shape. So those are the options for the sweaters that are still in contention. So it's a really great group. You've got some cardigans, you've got some pullovers, you've got some that can be done. I think the Park Slope and the Ditto both are cotton yarn. Cotton yarns. Excuse the dog, I'm sorry. So people are going in and out of the house, so they get all excited. Or she does. So my daughter just came home. Let's see. So there's a lot of different options for you to choose from. So go ahead and vote. And I plan on recording in 2 weeks. So there will be another at least 2 sweaters chopped from the bottom. So if there's a sweater that you like, make sure you vote. And you can vote as often as you want. You don't have to just vote once, and you can vote as many times as you want for different ones. So if there's 2 you really like, vote, vote, vote. Vote them up. Take the time. You've got some time. Excuse me, 2 weeks. So why not? Alrighty. So I am moving on to the other stuff now. So don't forget to vote for the knitting game. Lots of fun over there. So knitting. It's been a month, so I should have some things to show, and I do. So I wanted to start off with some finished objects. The first finished object I don't have. It's what I call the Aiden Dave newborn socks. Dave is a friend of my husband's at work, and he had a newborn son a few weeks ago named Aiden. So these were newborn socks for Aiden, and I don't have them, but I have the project page, and there are pictures. The thing I did with the newborn socks that was really interesting was that not only did I use the Fish Lips Kiss for the heel, I used the Fish Lips Kiss for the toe. So that's pretty, it worked very well. And it took some thought on how to do it. They were cuff down socks, so I ended with the toe. So that wasn't as an interesting endeavor as what I'm going to show you here in a little bit. So the Aiden Dave newborn socks. I knit those with leftover, as a matter of fact, do I have it up here? No, I don't know where I put it. But I did, it was my Lollipop Yarns Devil in a Blue Dress leftovers from the socks that I knit myself. So they were like self-striping socks and blues. So blue boy. There you go. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. The next finished object I have is the snow cap hat. Please forgive my family for speaking if you can hear them. They're trying to be quiet, I'm sure. These are the yarn. The yarn for this was from my shipment from Yarn Box for the main cap itself. And the snow cap hat, it was an interesting pattern and an interesting construction. As you can see, it alternates between knitting and purling in the round. You held the 2 different yarns together, so there's a big fluffy thick bulky yarn, and then there's a a really thin, like fingering weight, 100% silk yarn with the sequins, the metal sequins on it. And I get up to the top, and you may not be able to see so well, but I ran out of the bulky yarn. So I just kept going to finish the round. I dropped down a couple needle sizes and used my double point needles. I can't think. My double point needles to finish with the silk to finish up the top. But instead of doing, they had some kind of weird like faux fur bauble up at the top. I took some yarn that I had in my stash. It was lace weight yarn. I held it double. I knit an I-cord. And then out of the 2 yarns, I made pom-poms. I attached the pom-poms to the end of the I-cord, and I did a bow. So it's not a perfect match with the blues, but I think it's close enough, and I think it's just adorable. It's pretty cute. And this hat, hopefully she's not watching, but I'm going to give this one to my niece for Christmas next year, maybe. So, or maybe for her birthday. She's going away to college, so maybe I'll give it to her before she goes away to school, so she has something to wear when she's walking around campus. So that was my second finished object. So yay, 2 finished objects. Alright, so I have some half finished objects, and we'll start with my Stoker pullover, pullover sweater. So here, I call it half finished because I finished the back. So here's the back. This one is knit with the Cascade Venezia. It is 70% wool, 30% silk. So this knit up super quick. I've been done with this for quite some time. So there's the back, yay. And then, excuse me, I have the front. Now the front I've modified. I modified the back in that I knit it longer than what it calls for, because I felt that it hit at the waist, and that's not what where I want it to stop. I want to bring the eye down just a little bit to get over the waist and get down to my hips. So that's where I'm taking the front and the back. So I have finished the waist decreases. I'm in the middle of the waist shaping now, so I've done the decreases, and I'm doing the increases for the bust. I am not going to do the bust darts because I've already added extra stitches and made the front. I cast on extra stitches for the front as it is already. So I'm going to have to do the math to figure out how to do the front with the collar when I go to do the collar, and the sleeves and things like that already for the neck shaping. So I am using, let's see, my ChowGoo interchangeable size 7 for this, and it's a worsted weight yarn. It's lovely. And this is my brown dog bag. So, and it's sheep, knitting other sheep, wonderful sweaters. So I have, this is, I think this is probably 1 skein in a cake. Because I just started, this was the yarn that I was using for the Sayuri sweater. So I started with the Sayuri sweater, and I had already gone through like 4 hanks of the yarn, and they were attached. So I'm having to cut out where the joins are, because I used things like Russian joins and things like that, and they just were not very aesthetically pleasing. So I'm using the magic knot. Why not? It's all one color. It's, you know, the same color, commercially dyed. There's no variations in the skeins. You hold them next to each other, they look exactly the same. Even being knit up, I can't tell from one to the other. There's no variation. So I'm just using the magic knot as I come to the end. So I have the next skein hanked up, or caked up, And then here's a little bit, another little ball, probably due for a collar. And then I still have 4 skeins of this stuff left. So I have to finish the front. I have to do the 2 sleeves, which they're 3/4 length sleeves. So it'll take some yarn, but not a ton, right? They're just sleeves. And then the collar, it's a cowl neck, so it'll be kind of big and floppy. But I don't think that'll take much. Okay, I hope it doesn't take much. I may have enough of this yarn left over for some other things. Maybe a shell tank top. I mean, it's worsted weight, so it'd be kind of like a heavier shell. But I think I'm doing really good with yarn on this here. So that is my Stoker pullover. Let's see, where is that? Half finished object. Okay, I have one more. Let's see, where is that? So, my Rosa socks. These are socks for my coworker Rosa. So I have one sock finished. Now this is Knit Picks. It was the sock blank yarn that I dyed myself using Kool-Aid, and they still smell like oranges. It's great. I used a pretty traditional cast on for the toe, then the Fish Lips Kiss heel for the heel, and then it's just 2x2 rib along the front of the foot and up the cuff. So, and I made the cuff and the foot the same length, so that works out well. I did these on size 0, Chow Gu size 0s, and I am loving how thick the fabric is. I'm going to do some socks with some size 0s just so I can have a nice pair of socks for some boots. I mean, they're nice and thick socks. They're substantial. So, let me tell you about this one. So here's the second sock. I just finished turning the heel last night. I just finished the heel. So the heel was turned and I finished it last night. So what makes this sock interesting is I started toe up again, but I used the Fish Lips Kiss heel for the toe up sock. So think about that one for a minute and you'll figure out how I did it. And I'm not going to tell you. You have to figure it out yourself. I am going to email, if we haven't already talked, there's a forum in the forums on Ravelry on her group for the Fish Lips Kiss Heel Socks Therapist. There is actually a thread on how to incorporate the Fish Lips Kiss Heel short row method and turn it into toes. I don't think anybody actually discusses how they do it because they want to respect the copyright for her, and just we're submitting our ideas to her so she can develop a companion toe. So, but yeah, I did it toe up. So that started with the toe, did the Fish Lips Kiss heel for the toe, did it for the heel. Now I just have to knit up the cuff and they should be done. So I do these on the train. People love them. They think it's hilarious that I'm... Socks? Socks? You're knitting socks? Who knits socks? So I've been working on that project quite a bit. So I call it about half done. This is what I have left over after I got done with this. So I will have some left over to go into my scrappy scarf. And then I'll keep some in reserve in the event that I have to darn the socks or fix them at some point. I don't think I will, but you never know. She may ask, wear them all the time and I might have to fix them. Alright, so those were Rosa's socks and my sweater pullover. So the other two projects that I'm currently working on, and all of these, well, not all of these. So I work on the sweater at home. The socks are on the train. Now, this one I haven't showed you in a while. This scarf was the multi-directional scarf that I started in January when my husband and I went down to the cabin in Virginia, but I didn't like how it was coming out, so I ripped it out and I started over. And because Apparently, I don't know, I'm a trendsetter. I don't know. Chevrons are the thing. I don't know why. I just had it in mind to do a scarf with chevrons. So this is Miss Babs Maryland Sheep and Wool 2013. That's the pink, the pink variations. And what I'm doing is I'm intercutting that with white. It's the Drops Fable sock yarn. And I had 4 times as much of the Miss Babs as I did of the Fable white sock. So every 12 rows of the pink of the Miss Babs, I'm doing 3 rows of the white. So it's a quarter. So I'm going to basically knit until I run out of white, and then I still should have a quarter of the pink, and that'll get me enough to do the base and the garter stitch border on the end, and I'm going to have a chevron scarf because it looks really cool. And I'm carrying the yarn up the side, which is kind of a pain. I do knit this one on the train, and yarn management is definitely something. You can see I was going to break the yarn, and then I decided no, that's just a pain in the butt. So I started carrying it up. Even though I'm not thrilled with the way that usually looks, I think it looks better than having the 1,000 ends to weave in. So I'm knitting these on US 2s. They're the Chowgu fixed circular needle. These are not interchangeables. I need a shorter cable needle on this one because it's getting, sometimes it gets in the way with all the few things of yarn and all the ends and everything. So this one is in my Knitting's My Bag, my Snowflake Winter Wonderland bag. So this is also a train project. Then the last thing I've been working on, and I don't take this on the train because this is strictly in the house knitting when I don't want to think about what I'm doing. I am doing a sock head hat. So, and it's coming along swimmingly. This is Hazel Knits. No, Pagewood Farms. Shoot, I can't remember. But it's in the Indian corn colorway. Pagewood Farms. It's the Denali base. And it is the Indian corn colorway. So this one, as a matter of fact, I probably had done enough on the stockinette part where I could start doing the brim shaping or the crown shaping. But I might go for uber slouchy and take it to the next level and just go all the way, because I have a ton of yarn left. Although if I stop now, I could probably have anklets or something out of this. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I'm doing, a socket hat. I wanted to do one, so I'm doing one. And this is in my Anders Mill bag, my little owl bag. So, alright, so that's it for projects. So let's get into a little stash enhancement, shall we? Excuse me. So let's start off with my yarn box purchase this month. In my yarn box club, I got Happy Fuzzy yarn. It is the fingering weight, and it's the anodized colorway. And this is 75% Cordell, 25% nylon, 435 yards. So I have 2 of these. I got 2 in my club shipment, and they're the same fingering weight, Cordell, so same color. So I will use this for some sort of massive shawl because I have almost 900 yards of a fingering weight yarn in the same colorway. Why not? What else are you gonna do with it? So that's that. Then some of the things I picked up, I guess, at the retreat. I won the door prize for the Fable Fibers biography DK. Do you not just love those colors? So there's some magenta, some mint green, some olive green, some yellow green, some browns, some purple. I mean, just a bit of everything. And it is the DK weight, 246 yards. It is BFL Superwash. So this will probably become a cowl, maybe. I love the colors. I want it so it can become anything. I don't know. I didn't have anything picked for it, but I want it. So there you go. This is interesting. I picked up from the yarn store, which was the Yarn Club down in Virginia Beach. This is from Hand Painted something yarns. I can't remember what the name. It's the HPKY, Hand Painted. It's a merino. Is it superwash? Yes. So it's a superwash merino single. It's called Aqua Pastel. It's a fingering weight yarn, 510 yards. But it's in these blues, white, sky blues, cool aqua greens, pastel green. Reminds me of sea glass. So I figured I was down at the beach. This is yarn dyed for the Yarn Club. So I thought that was a really nice and fitting souvenir yarn. So I picked that up. Then I also picked up, this is lovely. And I'm sure the color will not do it justice. But this is Tosh Lace. It is 100% superwash merino. 950 yards in the butter colorway. So it's a true kind of tonal yellow. Now, if you notice, I'm trying to use my color words. So it's a tonal yellow. I would say trending towards the cooler side, because there's not really any of the orange in it. So you've got like light lemon yellow with some sunshiny yellow, but no real orange. So if anything, yeah, it's very light yellow. Maybe just a smidge, like you could see that. Has a little warmth to it, but for the most part, I think it's a very cool yellow. So this I picked up to do a shawl for my future sister-in-law. I noticed when at my sister's wedding in November, she actually wore shawls. Yellow is her favorite color. She said a happy yellow, so I thought this was a good yellow. So I'm going to do a shawl for her. Not in time for the wedding, but this will be one of the next projects I cast on. Then my last purchase at the yarn store was Scoosh Fiber Arts, the Rapture base in the Balsam colorway. This is a DK weight yarn. It is 75% merino, 15% silk, and 10% cashmere. I'm going to do the Elda cardigan, and I am just in love. This feels so beautiful. And I believe her name was Hazel. There at the yarn store. Really helped me out. You know, I told her I wanted to do a sweater. I wanted a sweater's worth of yarn to do a sweater, and it just, the planets aligned, and this is what I came up with. The balsam, it's like a blue-green, but a really dark blue-green. Almost with some black overtones into it. So it is very, very dark, but it's beautiful, and it is amazingly soft. So I have 5 of these, 370 yards, so it should be plenty to do another sweater, haha. But not part of the 10, so this is extra. Then I got, this is Windy Traditional. This is not from the yarn store, this is extra. My husband wants another hat, so I actually need to go ahead and cake this up. He wanted another hat, but this one still has lanolin in it. So it is an Aran weight yarn. I'm going to do the, I think it's called the basic boyfriend hat, or the basic man hat, or something like that. So it's an Aran weight, so this one should knit up pretty quick. So I'm going to do another hat, and because it still has the lanolin in it, it's a little bit more water resistant than the hat he has now. So, and try to find, I can't use the fisherman's wool because he wanted gray or black, so I had to find some place that had the lanolin in it in the right color. So that's that. Then the last two things I got are from Cephalopod Yarns. It is the Skinny Bugga base. So it is the merino cashmere nylon, 440 yards. This one is the Flash Art Butterfly. Love it. So hot pink, aqua, purple, gold, orange, just every color you could think of, kind of mishmash together. I loved it. Love it, love it, love it. Now I got this to go with it. It's also Skinny Bugga, but it's in the Hermit Crab colorway. And this goes to show you how different screens can be. When they were together on screen, I thought they would make an excellent two-color shawl. And now that I see them apart, I'm like, yeah, I guess they could still go together, but I'm not as thrilled with the idea of putting them together into a shawl, so I'm going to probably do two separate things with them. Because this is wine, like wine purpley and gold and greenish golds. So, and this has all these colors in it, but I don't know, I just think this is more overpowering because it is so, there's not enough contrast. So, but they're so lovely. Alright, so is that enough yarn stash that it really just kind of makes you want to vomit? But in my defense, it is a month worth of purchases at least. So, and I haven't bought anything since the retreat. I think maybe, famous last words, right? I think I'm done buying yarn. But I do want to make a trip up to Fiber Space in Alexandria and Looped up in DuPont Circle in DC. So there may be some more yarn purchases in my future there. So that's it for the knitting and the yarn stash. I do have some fiber. Not a lot, just two quick things. I got my club shipment from Into the World a few weeks ago. It's Courtly Frogs. I love it. It's the different blues, green, and red. Thinks. To me, it looks like Frogger gone bad. Like Frogger had a really bad day. Yeah. So, and I got an email. Yay. That's what that was. So that's, it's a merino, superwash merino, and silk blend. So that was my February 2014. And then I did win another door prize at the retreat, and this time it's fiber. This is Northbound Knitting, and it's the bilingual colorway. It is merino, superwash merino, comb top, so 4 ounces. So this is dark blues and light greens. Kind of reminds me of the Hulk, like a Hulk type green. So, alrighty. So for everything in my stash in the show notes, I just linked to my stash page because it's all there in my stash. And if you guys really want to peruse it, I mean, yeah, it's there. And I'm still working on my Wild Hair Fiber Studio Faux Cashmere in the Sugar Maple colorway. But let me tell you folks, I'm almost done. This is it. This is all I have left. Just this little itty bitty bit. And I might actually finish spinning this tonight. We'll see. I might have to get my wheel out of the car and get this spun up, so then I can have my 3 bobbins and I can show people how to ply. I started a spinners study group in our guild, and one of the members wants to learn how to ply. So that's the I guess intention for that. Alright, so this has gone on quite long enough. I had a lot to catch up on, so thank you for hanging out with me and sticking with me through all of that. So until next time, I do plan in 2 weeks, so episode 92. We are closing in on 100. That's kind of spectacular. I can't believe we've been doing it this long, and I'm having a blast still, so hopefully the sickness, that really took a lot out of me. Haven't had that in a while, so hopefully things will get better. So thank you. Don't forget to vote, okay? So remember, vote often. Vote as much as you want. The more times, the better. That's what makes it fun. So I like to see those votes rack up. So until next time, thank you. And I'll see you guys later. Love you. Bye.